there was a big controversy that started because of the fight between Dalmia and Bindra. I stretch for people, I fight with him, I talk to Sai, I fight with him and said, usko theek kar do. And wo theek ho jata hai. Mahatma Gandhi wouldn't have been able to get independence to India. And I didn't lose small wealth. I lost a market cap of 600 crores.
Oh,
People thought that I would just get finished.
hello everyone and welcome back to M Square Podcast. Today we have with us a very special guest whom we might all know. He gained worldwide fame from the movie Shirdi, Sai Baba. So today we have with us the biggest promoter of Sai Baba teachings and Sai Baba in India, Mr. Ausham Khedarpal. So Aushim sir, welcome to the show. It's really very pleasing to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Anurag. It's my pleasure to be with you and be amongst people who would love to hear the teachings of Sai Baba.
Yeah. So, sir, like it's since I remember watching you and on television, and everybody in my family knows about you. So, I wanted to start with this, like how your journey started. Like if you can share us about your childhood with us a little bit, and how did you come into this field of promoting Sai Baba teachings, and what was the inspiration or what you say, like the turning point where you realized that this is where I would like to go ahead with.
Anurag, the best things in life are the most difficult things. And you don't go to God unless you don't go to your master, unless you are in a very big problem. And when Ram was given Vanvat, inadvertently, Kekai knew within her heart, she had a premonition that if someone has to do and get semblance on this earth with the rishis and the saints, it had to be Ram. So she didn't know what she was talking, but it reached a level where the universal energies start working on you, and something good has to come out of what looks bad at that point. Like was my case, and I was a total atheist. I didn't believe in God.
Okay.
I just, with your mother, father would go to the mandir and say, "Hey Ram, thank you very much," and I'm leaving. That's about all. And when we grew up, there were movies which were like Divar and all that. So when we were at that age, also very very small age, those have an impact that you shouldn't believe in God and what happened, He come to you. These are all stories, but the reality dawned when I was not even. I had any semblance of idea that I was a workaholic, and I always believed that my current would get me through. But that is not the case. That is never the case in life. Life is all about the circumstances and what has to happen tomorrow. You don't know. By default, I landed in Shirdi. I had serious tax issues. But I was the number one sports promoter in the country.
Yes.
I had a company by the name of Rating Sports. Actually, when I was married, I was voted as one of the 10 top uh, bachelors in the country. And there were a lot of things which were going along, doing well as far as profession is concerned. But in 97, I had a severe crisis. And my tax issues were there, various issues were there. And all of a sudden, Radiant was dipping. And I had that confidence I can come out of it. It was not happening. That is the first time when I went to Shirdi by default. I was not supposed to be there, but the next
Okay.
day I was uh, it's a long story. It's all written in my book and everything. But when I reached there, for 2 hours, I was in a trance, standing under the neem tree. Shirdi was not Shirdi for this now.
Mhm.
There were about 700 people over there at any given point, and I don't think more than 2,000 people came the whole day actually. And I was just, I looked and I went to him and I stood under the neem tree 2 hours from 3:30 to 5:30. I didn't know where I was. My eyes were closed, they did not open. And all I saw was the conversation like Krishna had with Arjun.
Oh,
2 hours, he showed me all his Virat roop. He showed me that in him I could see Jesus, I could see Guru Nanak, I could see Shiva, I could see Krishna. And he said, बहुत देर कर दी Arjun. And I looked here, there, eyes closed. And I said, who's Arjun? I said, he says, बहुत देर कर दी, तुम्हारा बहुत देर से मैं इंतजार कर रहा हूँ. But what you see in films happen. When I went there, just before I was standing in front of him, a neem cup with patta fell down.
okay.
And that neem patta was there till the time I finished my
Oh,
conversation. And this whole conversation is shown in that movie when I stand and talk to him. आज क्या नहीं है मेरे पास? So he says, श्रद्धा और सबूरी नहीं है और बहुत देर से तेरा मैं इंतजार कर रहा हूँ तूने ही जाके मेरा प्रचार करना है. I didn't understand one thing what he said. All I understood was, if I don't come out of a problem, I have a problem, there's no point of worshipping him. Like any human being, why should I go to God when he
yes.
cannot do anything? Then he showed me his room, and he could not show me, he showed me Shiva, but he could not show me Krishna.
Okay.
He showed me Guru Nanak, Guru Granth, he showed me Christ, he showed me Vittal, he showed me Buddha, he showed me all the masters, but he could not show me Krishna.
Okay.
I didn't know. I said, then I realized it much later that I didn't see Krishna. And when I opened my eyes, I was sweating so profusely, all my clothes were wet. But I was overwhelmed by what I saw because when I came down from the eternal world, the eternal world to this world, and I said, where was I? I was in a trance. Next day, I said, if you do any chamatkar, show me that I sit next to you. At 4 o'clock Aarti, I was sitting in the fifth row, and this person comes and he says, he is giving water and he says, tells everyone to move. And by the time everyone moves, when I came out, I realized I was the first person sitting bang in front of him. There was no stand. There was no, wall or something. It's just a statue and I'm just standing bang, sitting over there, bang in front. And I went out. After that, I gave a call to someone in Blue Star. And I said, see, this is Gautam Bose. I still remember his name. And he said, Aushim, you were over here. What is this newspaper's writing about you? Got raids and this income tax and all that. I said, yeah. So he says, Baba ko 100 rupees dal do, and we've done a lot of work with you. We're very happy with you. So why don't you come and I'll do some business with you? And he gave me 30 lakhs in 2 days' time.
Okay.
And I said, my accounts are all dashed. So there's a long cut the whole story short. I mean, in 5 days and in 25 days, I had 7 crores coming to me.
Oh, okay.
There was someone who was wanting to do uh, wheat. He had to import wheat in Dubai and he had come. And these things normally don't happen. So I knew some person in the ministry and it happened. His contract was supposed to get through and that luckily fell in my hand because the person who come knew that I was well connected. So it happened and I couldn't take the money because my accounts were attached. And I meet a person who's the income tax commissioner and he says, I said, I can't do anything. So he says, and all these people, Michael Ferreira, Geet Sethi, they were all part of my company.
Okay.
And so Vijay Amritsar, they were all part. So he called Michael Ferreira. Commissioner knew me well. He called him And he says, can you call? There's no incident where, you represent players and you get, uh, they had done the thing that I get 80% and the players would get 20%.
Yeah.
So the whole connotation changed. With penalties, it became 6 crore. So he says, why don't you remove this? I'll help you out. I said, okay. So he says, can you get one player? I said, yeah. He called up Michael Ferreira. Michael came, gave a testimony. Then he took a couple of other players that, we get 20% and they get 80%. So the whole thing changed. In 10 days, my accounts were open. And I won that case only in 17 lakhs.
Okay.
Now, so that 7 crores, 7 became 10, 10 became 11, 11 became 8 months, it became about 22 crores. Now, that kind of a miracle when you see. And then you see that whatever you're saying to people is becoming true. So I was working with all these companies like ITC and Kingfisher, and, doing various sponsorships for the Hero Cup was done by me.
Mm-hmm.
The World Cup cricket, I was involved in all the Gold Flake Billiard World Championships were done by me. Steffi Graf came country, and all these things were all coordinated, and rated was really big. And I was partnered with Barry Hearn and all that. And nothing. We just went and just kept on going on till the time I realized that he didn't give me the money for, for myself. I became clairvoyant. I started seeing things, and what I would predict to people would come true. So he gave me the clairvoyance because he wanted me to do the work of sign. A non-person, a film person from sports. I move into films, and the first film that I do had 160 actors. It has never been done, neither will ever be done. You had Dharmender, Shami Kapoor, Suresh Oberoi, Rohini Kantangiri, Vikram Gokhale, Rohit Roy, Divya Datta, just keep on naming Vijayendra Gatke, Shiaji Shinde. You name them, everyone was there. Top Marathi artists, everyone was there. And you see the frame, every frame, someone or the other is coming in. And this is a story, the film was being made, and this is a story of my life. An atheist who turns towards self-centered. We want to do things for ourselves, but we never walk the path where we take up the pain of the others on ourselves and be empathetic. But if you look at it, it's been a journey which has transformed me. And because I somehow became an inspiration to so many people, again, God given, that that journey today has transformed people in millions. And if someone is a conduit to that, and he can transform millions of people, the faith in the master gets rejuvenated again and again and again. And that is what has happened in this process. An atheist to make a film, 99, 1999, embroiled in one of the biggest controversies of the world. He was the biggest sports promoter in the country, having done 540 events with 14 world championships, Asian championships, promoted one of the biggest stars of the Indian sports, writing in about 45 papers. Rated was going good, but God had some other plans. I got embroiled in one of the frivolous controversies, but to prove myself, there had to be only my master. And just before I got involved in that, I had gone to my master and had seen his miracles.
Yes.
When I saw his miracle to an extent that I said to myself one day, even if my master takes my last breath, every life I would like to only do his prachar. Because that was the extent of miracles that I saw with him. And it's in me. that all throughout my life, I just want to do was prachar. Now, at that point of time, if you remember, in 99, 2000, neither would the television channels show any spiritual show. They
Yes,
would
yes.
not. They would refrain because it didn't make any commercial sense to them. And here comes a man whose life is only making that film, doing the prachar. Everyone in the industry said, "Oh, this man's a madman." I was not into films. And I didn't, first time ever, time our film got shot in Shirdi. It has been shot, and no other film got shot ever again.
Okay.
But the serials got shot in Shirdi, but no other serials got. And I still don't understand why the cameras cannot go in. But when we go, the cameras open.
Okay.
I have no. And the same person today, when he was immortal, when the film was getting released, I get a clean sheet from Scotland Yard saying no evidence found is closed. And what they write in the report is this man is a maverick. He can see the future. He had predicted the results of Pakistan West Indies match and the Pakistan Sri Lanka match. And to the T, I knew I cannot justify self by being clairvoyant.
Yeah.
So, and the same person, Martin Jerkins, who interrogated me, writes this report, and he could be a useful man. I, that is the way of God, that when you give up and surrender to Him, and the next year, the same man who was one of India's leading talked about man, one of the most eligible bachelors in the country, written all about in the papers. He gets embroiled in the controversy. The movie gets released, and the same man next year gets on July 17th gets the President National Integration Award at the President House on July 17th for making the film Sai Baba.
That is
No one
quite a
remembers me
journey.
today.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, it's like Valmiki.
Yes, yes, yes.
So controversy, and the person who put me in the controversy, Mr. Dalmia, who's dead and gone,
Yeah.
faced a lot. He faced talk of Pema. I was a blue-eyed boy of BCCI. He faced almost a lot. And 15 days before he died, he calls me. He says, "Aushim, I'm your culprit." I said,
Oh,
"Sir,
okay.
I've moved on. If it hadn't been for you, these things I've never told to anyone.
Yes.
But with my new book, I will be, because the first book has already come bestseller. And the new book, and my film, which is coming on my life, I'm
Hmm.
talking about." So I had no regret, because if that incident did not happen, I would have gone on the way of Sai Baba, because the passion to excel was immense. So I said what I could not do in sports. I mean, there's also event company which has done 540
Yes,
events,
yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Agreed, sir.
540 national and international events no one's done. And even till date, we support these para athletes. And while I'm talking to you, yesterday, some of my athletes been part of the Sai Baba Foundation. One has become a world champion,
Yes, sir.
Simran Sharma.
Yes, 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 Simran.
And there are people like Sundar Gujal, Yogesh Kathonia, all these people who are at the Paris Olympics, and they're certain to win some medal. But that is a grace God has given, that, when you touch someone, it will excel. And I've seen that in the last 16 years, 17 years of my life. If the film hadn't become a hit, Shirdi would have been shared.
Yeah.
It was it was something which God destined its way to do. And I was so lucky that He chose me to do that. And no filmmaker makes a film which is an all-time epic, which changes life. Even today,
Yes.
one of the 10 epics in the country is Shirdi Sai Baba film.
Yes,
It
sir.
changes the life of people. So I am just a small conduit in the whole game plan he had. But if that, it's like, Mahabharata. If Krishna had not hyped up the Mahabharata would be remembered 5,000 years later.
Yes, yes.
But it's not involved in that controversy. Today, the Sai Baba won't have been the way it is.
Yeah.
If you look at the analogy,
Yes, yes, yes.
and why is it that only shows of that category? And there are certain characters in life people don't forget. You don't forget Arun Govind
Yes.
remembering Ram. You don't
Mm-hmm.
forget these are characters which are etched in the Indian minds. So when you think of Sai Baba, you think of Sri Dalvi. When you think of any Bhakti, you think of Ausham Khedarpal.
Yeah.
These are these five main characters which are etched in minds of people. And there is no, you cannot go and tell them that, look, please come to me. That's the last thing I've done in my life.
Yeah.
I have stayed a life which is very clean, which is said, if he comes to me, I am doing this because what the miracles he showed me. You can't get away with a Scotland Yard investigation. And then the same Scotland Yard says he's a maverick. It has to be. And then the same man who's an atheist starts preaching only his life is based on only preaching the
Sai Baba
the
teachings in it.
type of teaching and the essence that in him you see Shiva.
Yeah.
He is the last person who will take you to the Kalki. And in him only I have seen Krishna, I have seen Shiva. The reasoning for this is that it can happen to me, it will happen to another.
Yeah.
But you need to put up same science in you. So whatever you there on the screen, television channels only want, no, Sai Baba, Aushim Khedarpal. I have no answer for it. It's just my penance, my daily thinking that today 50 more people will believe more in Baba. Just a conviction.
Yes.
And my life today is based on just spreading his message to the world. I am not doing it for Anurag.
Yeah.
I am doing it for my happiness because I feel so happy. If Anurag can get a smile on his face, I'm the happiest person.
Yeah.
I've done one act of God to get a smile, to get someone to love the Master, love Krishna. It is the biggest happiness I get today. But this is a journey which
I,
evolves, the
yes.
mindset change. And that is the journey he makes me follow, which I follow to the T. And I can tell all the bhakts, all the people, devotees who are there, who are believers and not believers, when you take a step in life, there is always opposition.
Yeah.
When you take a step at the feet of the Lord, you would have committed 10 crimes, but there's no opposition. And the biggest example of this is Ratnakar Daku. He killed so many people, he did chori, daka. But when he changed and he understood the meaning of Shiva, and when he chanted, he became Valmiki.
Valmiki. Yeah.
And the same Valmiki adopted and raised the children of Ram. And same Valmiki wrote Ramayana. The examples of Ashoka were examples of more than, and he's put me on the same path. I've had troubles and troubles and troubles and troubles, but I keep going. Because if I'm going to heal so many people, which he's making me do, how people get all right through my uh, clairvoyance, through my healing, I have no. But they're getting all right. The bottom line. So don't expect that you are nothing. You're not even shunya. It is when the hand of God is there, and you think that I have to do this for the society. One man has to wake up. The impact will come in 50 years later, not now.
Yeah. That is so true. That is so true.
The impact of Ashoka after the Kalinga War, that the impact that he had, and he said, I am going to spread the message of my master Buddha. And what Ashoka did so many years back, he is not revered as, he cannot be compared to Genghis Khan.
Yes.
Ashoka is Ashoka because he
Yeah.
takes towards Buddha.
Yeah.
And he spread the message of Buddha right from Japan to Indonesia to China to India. And he built so many stupas and he spread the message. So there are people who are born master is one, and the pracharak is another person.
Yeah.
He has to remember he's not living for himself; he's living for everyone else. I just, I just spread that message. Get that feeling of empathy in you, and you are a changed man.
Yeah.
Takes time.
Yes. And I think it's a continuous process, sir. As you mentioned about
Trust.
your, as you mentioned about your journey from being the number one sports promoter in India and to that whole controversy, and for someone like Mr. Dalmia calling you and telling that I have been your culprit, to now becoming the biggest pracharak of Sai Baba teachings. I think
I
one.
don't take that, Anurag. I don't
Okay.
take that. I dislike that word. I dislike that word
Okay.
from the very fact, everyone, all I'm doing is giving you faith.
Yes.
And I tell you, if I, if he is being kind to me and he's giving his blessings and giving me lessons every day, you can do it. All I'm doing to you is just empowering you. I'm no one. You
Yes.
can be like me. You can be like me. I'm not the chosen one. And I want everyone to be like that. The world is going to be a better place. We are moving towards Satyog now. You gotta change. You gotta finish your karmas. All I'm just saying is, whether I'm a Pracharak or not, what the world thinks, I am only happy being in his orbit and doing my work.
Understood, sir. And I think that is so, and that feels so nice to hear because the world wants to project you that way, but you are so true in what you're doing. I think that is the true essence of that.
Listen, Anurag,
Yeah.
if Baba got the truth, his Prachar will not be like this.
So true.
Anything which has legs which are shaky will never ever spread like wildfire.
Yes, true.
Correct?
Yes,
And if I don't follow the truth of his preachings, I can't even tell you. I just, Baba, I'm just saying a thought. Just give it a thought. When you talk of Sai Baba today, the first name comes out is Ausham Khedarpal.
yes,
That's
true.
his grace.
Yeah,
Correct. You don't go for anyone. That's his grace. I didn't call for it. You can't. I didn't call. I don't tell people to come to me. I don't. I won't even charge money. I- My point is only one. That with the feet of master, whoever the master may be, there is always a silver lining you will never lose. And never have a bald head because you are a non-entity. When you're a non-entity and you just want to see a smile on people's face, and all the people who are joining today, I just want to see a smile. I just want them happy and give them good feeling. Look, if it can happen to me, it will happen to you.
true.
It's very simple.
And
And no human in this life can give you as much love as you can get love from God.
yes, true.
Is that
Agree.
right or wrong?
Yes, yes, totally.
So just go there, just go there. And when you go there, in Paramatma, He is Swartha Messiah. When you go to God, He will give you what you want,
Yeah.
right?
एंड यहाँ पे मेरे को ना अमिताभ बच्चन जी ने वो कहा था कि अगर आपके मन का हो तो भला, ना हो तो और भला, क्योंकि वो भगवान की मर्जी से हो रहा है और भगवान आपका बुरा कभी नहीं चाहेंगे. सो आप.
देखो मैं बात बताऊं एक बात बताऊं
हाँ.
to the credit of India, we've had certain luminaries, Subhash Chandra Bose,
Yes,
even our Prime Minister today.
yes,
And I keep on meeting so many people across the world who are very, I don't want to name them, but today they follow Baba. To them, my words are gospel to them. And then the best of the people in the country. Important thing is Amitabh Bachchan, Narendra Modi, Subhash Chandra Bose. There are people in a different league altogether. To an extent, Shahrukh, because he's from the same school I am, both are from St. Columbus.
yeah, yeah,
Can you
yeah.
hear
I
me?
can hear you, sir.
You were talking of Amitabh Bachchan. There are certain luminaries we all look up to. Why do we look up to Amitabh Bachchan? Why do we look up to Mr. Modi? Why do we look up to Subhash Chandra Bose? There's so many people you look up to. Why? The way it is not that pain. It is, they've also gone through pangs of uncertainty, arrogance, but the way they have learned and conduct themselves is an example for people, for the population. They conduct themselves in a manner that it does not hurt people. They've also had problems.
On what happened in around the late 1990s, and if you can let us in on what happened then.
Well, being one of the leading sports promoters in the country, there was a big controversy that started because of the fight between Dalmia and Bindra. And I was doing a benefit match with Mr. Bindra and for Mr. Pando, who happened to be the secretary of the BCCI at that time. And because of this major fight, and and Mr. Dalmi and Mr. Bindra had got me into cricket, into whole marketing of cricket in India. What had happened was that between these two, there was a benefit match, which when the dates came, it used to get cancelled. So when it got cancelled the first time, then Mr. Bindra said, why don't you go to England and get a couple of teams to come and play over here? I did that. And during that time, there was a huge controversy, which was uh, created by the person, who I don't want to name at the moment, but everyone knows it. And that controversy became so big because Indian media was at a nascent stage. They would carry anything which is coming out of England, America, they would carry that. And that controversy became so big that every day in all the papers, cricketing nations of the world, they were carrying this controversy. And this was about Fleming and me. And at that time, I had moved to Sai Baba. I had a lot of belief. I had seen a lot of miracles happening with him. But this was my biggest test because I was making the film Sai Baba, and this
Yeah.
controversy used to erupt every time. And during that time, when I was shooting in Shirdi, this controversy of Hansi Kronia came up.
Oh,
And
okay.
and but the earlier was my controversy. So they linked this, and I was in Shirdi. And obviously, when you're in Shirdi and this controversy comes up again, it's huge media controversy. There was nowhere in hell that, people thought that I would just get finished. And it was a framework. And but it had the hand of Sai Baba. And though I was a media person, I hit back, and I was very lucky that press was carrying all the statements I was giving. But there is always that fear when there is a frame up that, you're going to get framed in this.
Wow.
There was no truth in the whole controversy. But the irony was cutting the whole thing short. It was in 2001 when the film got made, was completed, and it was getting released. There was Scotland Yard which had come to interrogate me. They had gone all across the world to interrogate people, and they were asking them whether they knew me or not. And to all these people who were there with me, they all denied. And they said that he was a person who has done a lot for sports in India. And the best was the film was getting released on 7th of September,
Okay.
2001. And on 22nd August, I get a call and a fax from Scotland Yard saying that uh, there is, if the case is closed, no evidence found, case closed. That was not important. What is important was what is written in that note, that this man is a maverick. He can predict the future. He can see the future, and there is no iota of any match fixing which has been done through him. Which note went to the ICC, and when they saw this, they said that the eyes went straight to the former president of BCCI, and they started questioning him. And that was the faith and the power of truth that in 2007, that same president was ousted by the BCCI. He came into Ferrat knots, and he came into a whole lot of problems. And he had to go through the turmoil that I went through. But my life had taken a different turn because here I'd found my calling. And ultimately, when you find your calling, you ultimately go to God. So that journey
Yes.
started at the age of 42. And lo and behold, I mean, here there's this controversy in 2001 happening all across 2002, 1999, 2002, 2001. And in 2002, July 17, I happened to get the biggest honor in the Indian, this thing by the President of India, that is the National Integration Award at the President's House on July 17th by K.R. Narayanan.
Okay. Okay.
Now, this change where media is writing about something I like match fixing, and here they changed you into 1 year, you're a changed person. Then the same people look up to you in a different light.
Hmm.
So till date, people know who I am. Media may know you, but there's a lot of people who just recognize the face and they'll say Sai Baba, but they won't know the name. Otherwise, a person who's been so much on television, so much on media, people still do not know his name. I go to the south, I come to Bangalore, I go to Hyderabad. People just, they recognize your face and they would not know your name. They would attach your name with Sai Baba. That is
Yeah.
the biggest miracle which has happened. It continues to happen every day. That is the power of God. So that changed, and then the film changed India, serials changed India, and
Yes.
all the talk shows that I did, Sai Ki Mahima, where I would talk about healing people. It's a healing show, spiritual show where I would talk about their future. अब चमत्कार कोई नमस्कार है, कोई आपको नमस्कार नहीं करता. अगर
जी
अनुराग को
सर.
कोई तकलीफ है और अनुराग को इफ आई कैन पिन पॉइंट इनसे अनुराग तुम्हारे को ये तकलीफ है, तुम ऐसे ठीक हो जाओगे, तभी अनुराग मुझे दूसरा कॉल करेगा, नहीं तो नहीं कॉल करेगा.
जी.
So I still don't understand how people get healed, what I tell them, because these are all words of sign which I say, and I have no answer. I take no credit for it. But I stay in a trance, I stay in a miracle, and I love this miracle because at the end of the day, people are getting healed, people are changing,
And I think,
and
sir, like,
that is what my life purpose is.
and I think, sir, जिस तरीके से आप बात करते हैं ना, there is this, I feel a sense of calm when you talk. It just feels like it's coming from the heart. It's just not. कई बार कई लोग होते हैं जो they just say it for the sake of saying. They do not mean. But when it comes from you, it just feels like, it is not from a point of, you're trying to teach someone something. It is because you genuinely care about that some other person, and it is coming from your heart. And it just hits, and I can feel that, even though we are not in the same room, we are, kilometers, thousands of kilometers away. I just feel that, like, this is something which is very much in person. And uh, uh, I rarely at a loss of words, but like, this is what happens when somebody just talks from the heart. So, sir, like, you went through one of the biggest setbacks one can face, because not a lot of people go through the nation's trial, the trial by media, which they say, because before anything gets proven, media, tells you guilty or not guilty. And to go through something like that and to eventually come out of it. And I remember, sir, you were telling us about your first visit to Shirdi when Shirdi was not Shirdi, and you had those visions, and you were telling us about. If you can just tell it to our listeners what it was about and how it totally transformed your approach to life. Because I remember you telling you were an atheist and now being a firm believer in God. And I would take this liberty to say that people believe that you are the Sai Baba because, through a generation, who were not able to make the difference between if it is real or TV. I can still say, if I talk to my dadi, you will say, I have done Sai Baba's interview today, and she's 93 years old, and she used to watch it a lot. And
Guarantee you will not know my name,
yeah, yes, sir.
but
They will be
she'll
like, oh,
recognize
Sai Baba
me.
said, yes,
She will, and that is the irony. People put their in the phone. They put my name not as Ausham Khedarpal Sai Baba. It amazes me there are crores and crores of people who would not know my name, and that is when I feel, Anurag, my life ended at 42. When I got the President Award, my life ended because this is another birth, and I'm in my trance. And all I tell people is life only with love. And who better person can say that because who's torn between, you know, one controversy. We had so much of financial issues earlier when I lost so much of money, but that will to go on, pay back everyone, and not only that, the will to survive and to. I always thought, if I'm his son, if I'm his chosen one, and if I can't be an example for people, then he selected the wrong chosen one. And he
yes,
gives me the strength, the sheer faith he gives me that you will be successful. Now, successful doesn't mean I'm going to make a lot of money. Successful means I can spread the message of love, Shraddha, and Saburi. Because Baba is the only one who was going to carry you till Kalki. He is a direct descendant of Shiva who has come to take you to Kalki and take you to all the masters you have worshipped. That is why in him you will see all the masters. And he just gives me the strength. I mean, that's the sheer fact I'm telling you. I'm talking to you, and I'm 63, and my hair are black. I
oh,
don't have a
okay.
stomach. I don't
I
have a
wouldn't have
stomach.
made out, sir, if you were 63. I thought, at somewhere around 48, 50, because you said you
Yeah.
were 42 back then. I could have, made it. Otherwise, I would have said 40s.
Yes. My hair are black. I can do 100 push-ups every
Oh,
day. I can, I can, I work for 22 hours, 21, 22 hours a day. I talk to about 500 people across the globe. Just before you, I was talking to people in South Africa for the world tour of Sai Baba, which is starting off.
okay.
And that gives me the strength and the energy to go on. Because out of 500 people, if 20 people get all right, I mean, my day is made.
Yes.
And I feel that I have done the work of Sai to spread it, give them faith that hang on. Tomorrow will be another day. If your mother tells you, Anurag, you're depressed, beta, kal theek ho jayega. You believe her words then.
Yes, I do. I do.
So when they believe my words, because these are not words, they feel these are words of Sai coming direct. And you know what they feel? Everyone you talk to, South Africa, California, London, they said anyone who's the closest to him is Ausham Khedarpal. How you can't even take that. I can't even digest that. The very fact. But that's the perception. For what? That's not created by me.
Yes.
Now, you feel so humbled that, you know, you just want to stretch for Baba anytime. And that's exactly what I stretch for people. I stretch for people. I fight with him. I talk to Sai. I fight with him and said, उसको ठीक कर दो आप. And वो ठीक हो जाता है.
Oh, okay.
The faith, it is the faith of theirs that they have in me and my faith in my Sai that is curing them. And and I know for a fact it's not me. So there is nothing to feel proud about. It's just like an everyday office that this is what your work is. You have to do this. And he will take care of everyone else.
Yes. And I think, sir, as we have moved forward here in this generation, not a lot of people know about Sai Baba because for us, we had shows about Sai Baba. We would watch it with our parents or with our dadi, and she'd be watching. I still remember one story where there was a guy who was paralyzed from bottom down, and I saw it on TV. And then his wife would pray to Sai Baba that heal. And then he gets into an accident, and post that accident, he's all cured. Like he can move very easily. So I remember those stories, and my parents, go try to go to Shirdi every once in 2 years or 3 years. So we also go since as kids we have been going. But I see my nieces and my nephews, and they're not very aware of Sai Baba now. I guess it's on social media, so I'm not saying that is wrong. They either I believe a lot in Hanumanji, so somebody believes in Shivji, but a lot of people are not. I'm not sure if there is outside my purview there, but I want to ask what are some core teachings that anyone or everyone should follow, or if young people can listen to this and try to incorporate in their lives.
Anurag, very good question. Because uh, just before that, this painting
Yeah.
which is there here, the portrait which
Yeah.
is being made, I was doing one of the discourses in Delhi. So a girl who did not have hands, just a leg,
Okay.
while I was giving the discourse, she was making this painting with her
Oh,
leg.
wow.
And for her just to come and meet me and say hello to me, she did this live on the stage.
Okay.
Now, when you do this live on the stage, it humbles you that what is their feeling that they would come all the way, paint, go to the organizers that if I'm coming for a show that she would do this. Today, Baba's history, Baba's collage of how he was and what he lived is known to major public. Today, I have started writing books and they're out in the market about what he meant, every message of his, Diksha, Dakshina, the power of Seva, the what did he say to the kinners? What did he say to the disabled? So disabled
Yeah.
got a unit which is the six people going to the Olympics now, Paralympics are competing.
Yes. Yes.
Six of
Yeah.
them are part of the Shirdi Sai Baba Foundation. And there's a world
Okay.
champion by the name of Simran Sharma is a world champion, Neeraj Yadav, Yogesh Kathun.
Yes.
They're all part of the Sai Baba stable. Now, to pretty, they feel it is a blessing of Baba. Then there is one show that we're doing on Doordarshan, We the Change, which is about these para athletes,
Okay.
disabled. Now we're doing the World Cup para cricket in the month of March. So there's a lot of effort being put in the para sports. Also, we finished a film on the Kinders,
Okay.
Children of God. It's going to get released at the end of the year. Now, this is the work because if you do not do larger than life, people will not recognize that message.
Yeah.
If it was not for the film, today the cult of Sai Baba won't be all that strong. It is the film, then it was the serial, then it's a sustained work which happened with Baba. Uh, various people doing various things. Mandir started developing that, and then with where the miracles were happening with them, who was doing work for him, did they go forward? Because you do not do anything till the time you see a miracle. So today the message is only the work that he did is my books are coming out of that. One book has come out, 11 Commandments of Sai. What are the 11 commandments that he's given? What
Yeah.
comes out today after 10 years will become very popular. It takes that time. Spirituality
Yes.
is like old wine. It takes time.
And I think there comes a phase. So, also wanted to ask you, like, if you can share some teachings, main teachings, if somebody who just wants to, who listens to this and wants to learn more about Sai Baba, and or if they want to, understand more, like what Sai Baba taught, what Sai Baba preached. If you can just share one or two things which can be useful in anyone's life.
The best message of Baba was do to others. Do not do to others what you'll do to yourself.
Okay.
That means if you're wanting good for yourself, do good to others. And he just spread one message. The message was परमात्म में ही स्वार्थ है और जब तू दूसरे का स्वार्थ जब तू दूसरे का दर्द अपने ऊपर ले लेगा तब तेरा दर्द मैं ले लूंगा but people
Okay.
work only to take their own dard away.
Yeah.
They don't come to take your dard. If you can do this, you will be protected, guaranteed. But we don't think. We think, oh, I have to protect myself first.
Yes.
तू ना कुछ लेके आया ना लेके जाएगा. तूने 100 करोड़ बना दिया तो वो भी यहीं पर है. आज तेरा है कल किसी और का हो जाएगा.
So, वो मैंने भी पढ़ा था कि within 2 generations or 3 generations, you will be forgotten, who you were, what you did.
Yes. But there's certain people, that is why I'm grateful to him. There's certain people you will not forget in your life. Do you
Yes.
remember
True.
500 years back who was the best theater person? Do you remember who was the best sportsman 500 years back? No.
No.
Do you remember 100 years back who won the 100 meters at the Athens Olympics? No.
No.
Correct. But do you forget Hanuman? Do you forget
No.
Arjun?
No, sir.
Do you forget Krishna? Do you forget Buddha? But do you forget Dalai Lama? No. Every master and his preacher will always be remembered by the universe and by the earth.
That is so true. Never thought about it that way.
That is the bottom line.
Yes.
They will be remembered till eternity. It is because Krishna is there that the Pandavas are still remembered. And every
Yes.
character of around with Krishna is remembered. But do
Yeah.
you remember Genghis Khan winning one battle than any of his soldiers? You don't remember.
No. No. No.
This is the difference between spirituality and normal life.
So, sir, my next question would be on this last point you mentioned. If we have to explain, because spirituality has taken a meaning which is not, what it doesn't mean. Everybody says, "Oh, I'm very spiritual," but they do not know anything about it. And I would also accept that I do not know much about it. So, if it comes from you, if you can explain what is spirituality, what can someone who is not very aware about,
What is
like me,
spirituality?
understand how?
Spirituality is talk to your soul because the soul stays alive. The brick of the house and the bones of your bodies are all diminished.
Yeah.
One day they'll be diminished, but the soul will always be remembered. Do you remember
That's
anyone by the body? You will remember that person by the soul. You remember
soul.
Vivekanand by the soul.
Yes. Yes.
So when he comes in the form of picture, you'll remember him. And that same image will be in your mind. Because
Agree.
these people have done work of God. Mahatma Gandhi wouldn't have been able to get independence to India if in the last 15 years he had not picked up the mantra and said Ram, 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 Ram. Valmiki wouldn't have been Valmiki. Ratnakar would have been Ratnakar if he had not picked up and said Om Namo Shivaya, Om Namo Shivaya. But how
Okay.
many people
Yes.
remember Valmiki as a dacoit? No.
No one. No one.
How many people remember Ashoka? They only remember Ashoka that he won the Kalinga War
The
and he
great.
changed.
Yeah.
The king who changed, correct?
Yes.
Because he took upon himself to spread the message of Buddha.
Yeah.
How many people talk of the same Moses, but when he was about to become the king of, prince of Egypt, no one. They remember
Okay.
Moses
No
only
one.
the person who parted the seas.
Yeah.
This is
That's very
our
profound.
This is the power, and this is the power of someone who has been born to change the mindset of people. There are two elements to life. One is oxygen and hydrogen, H2O.
Yeah. It's
This is a room full of hydrogen, and this is a room full of oxygen. When we are in hydrogen, we are burning. There's negative energies coming in this room. The moment you leave the room and go to the other room, you have oxygen. So your mind starts working in the right manner.
yeah.
What is that? That is Buravat or Saivat.
Okay.
So when you go to the hill,
Yes.
when you go to the hills, because there's so much of purity, your thoughts will be pure. In 2 years, you'll be a
Good.
changed man.
Okay. I think I can understand that. That's why you feel so good when you go to the hills, when the air is better to breathe, and
Your
when there
mind
is
is
less
working
noise
better.
around.
Mind is working better.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the hills, you're not thinking of pizza.
True. You want to eat the authentic food that is there, local food cooked in wood.
Absolutely. And your mind is
I
pure
think I agree. Yes.
and at peace.
So, yeah. True. You think better. So
That is the,
my next question.
that is the
Sorry.
difference between finding God and traveling that passage.
So finding God and
Taking that passage, taking that train.
okay, okay, okay,
To
okay.
take that train, you need a master. To find
Yeah.
God, you need a master. So you have to be on the right train, and the right train will be given to you by your master. And that's what I do
True.
every day. Try putting people on the right train.
And that so you might have faced a lot of challenges when you come across someone who is very stubborn. They are you can see that they're on the wrong train or they're on the wrong path, but they're very stubborn. That this is my way of life. This is how I've lived. How do you feel? How do you manage those
You know,
challenges, sir, when you come across
I,
such?
I used to talk to myself, and Baba used to tell me, he says, तू मेरा काम कर, लोगों को कैसे लाना है वो मेरा काम. I would not understand what he said. But
Okay.
I had one advantage, and I didn't realize that this advantage was known to Baba. I was a media person, and a good
Yeah.
media person. I mean, they're
Yes.
at the top.
Great. I was.
They're at the top. So, but to convince people, you need to be larger than life.
Yeah.
And that aura was created by Sai Baba. And unless he kept on doing his work, that aura would have been created.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
only people 10 years later, they start realizing, oh, what you've done. And then they start coming to you because the people test you a lot. So there are a lot of challenges. When I was making the movie, people said, oh, why are you making a movie? Make a romantic movie. Why are you burning your money? When I was making the serial, even when I was bankrupt, I said, no, I have to do only the work of it. So when I was doing all this, he took care of me. He took me out of all this. When he took me out of all this, I didn't realize how many people were benefiting out of it because I was only focused there. That's what. So I was not focusing on if I was focusing, I didn't even think of myself. I had problems, but those problems, you have to face them. They will go up. It's a different analogy. You have to understand that
Yeah.
analogy. You work for him, he will take care of you. Here we work for ourselves and no one takes care of us. And we beg him to
Yeah.
take care of us.
Yeah. We ask them, take care of us, but we will take care of us only. We will not take care of others that are
So
around us.
here we have to take care of us and then beg to
Yeah.
him to take care of us.
Yeah.
So
True, sir. You were telling us about, you being almost bankrupt, and there were a lot of your assets being seized, and and then once you went to Shirdi and you came back, and suddenly things started falling in place. If you can just, tell our listeners about it, so that they can also take inspiration from this
I
one.
went to Shirdi. I was number one sports promoter in the country, and I went and I was in doldrums. So I didn't go bankrupt once. I went twice,
Okay.
and I didn't lose small wealth. I lost a market cap of 600 crores.
Oh,
That is,
unfathomable.
I lost a market cap 600 crores and I had a debt of about 18 to 20 crores. And that time I'm talking 2002. So,
Yeah, easily heard
and
now.
2003 I'm talking of. And then how to come out of it, how to stay put, how to handle court cases, how to move out of that. I never shied away from any because there was one belief that if he's there with me, he will find a way. And this inspiration has worked wonders for millions of people. Today, when I talk to people, I heal them and they start crying. I said, if you are Sai's devotee and if you're attached to me, if you start crying, you're a coward. And I hate cowards. And they get up
Yeah.
because there is light. They feel that, you know, someone so close to Sai Baba is saying this. So there is hope. And that hope makes them come out.
I think when they see you, like you having utmost faith in Sai Baba and you coming out of your troubles one by one as it happened,
No,
I think that
now,
also instills a faith.
now the question of my coming out of troubles is not in the mind. What is in the
Yeah,
mind is कि औशम जी ने बोल दिया आप ठीक हो जाएंगे. But their faith in me and my faith in Masai is translating their faith.
yeah.
That is the most paramount thing. That is the most important thing.
As you know, like as we come, it's been a great conversation, and I would say, like I also I've learned a lot of things, and when I say learned, like, I've heard a lot of things for the first time when it comes to Sai Baba, and when you were mentioning about it, and it also intrigues me to go out, read more, and maybe have one more conversation about you with a lot of inputs from my end also of what I perceive. So, Ashim sir, I wanted to ask from you that how Sai Baba's teachings can be adopted in current world where people see spirituality in terms of doing a 10-day retreat, 5-day retreat, whereas Sai Baba's teachings cannot be absorbed that fast. You have to change your entire lifestyle, a way you think, and adopt it on
No,
a larger scale.
no,
No.
Anurag, there you're wrong. You don't have.
Okay.
I'm writing a book on, it's half complete, how businesses and mindsets can be changed with the teachings of Sai Baba
Okay.
and how he is the guru for the youth.
I would
So,
love to hear
yes,
reassurance. Yeah.
that we can take another conversation. The whole conversation,
Yes.
I can talk about it. And
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
if I talk to you for half an hour, I am 100% sure I will have a 2% impact on your mind to make you think, स्मरण करने के लिए कि अनुराग, इस पे भी thought दे.
Yeah, yeah.
Try taking it this way. Try moving your mindset to this. If I can do this, you will travel a bit, and if you find success, then from 10 to 20%, 30%, you will go. So that is a change of mindset can do all that.
So, sir, just as we come to a close, and we have this section called Words of Wisdom, and I think we can have a lot of wisdom from coming from you. So, if there are anything that you would like to share with the people who are listening to this,
Yeah.
any words of wisdom from you, then.
God will never come to you if you believe in the theoretical part and you read and go to Him. If you take the Gyan and go to Him, He will not come to you. He will only come to you when you surrender and show your innocence. He will come running to you because he hates one thing in life, and that is attitude. He hates
So true.
arrogance. And the biggest example is Ravan.
Yeah.
And the biggest example is after Ravan is का वध हो रहा है, Ram is telling Lakshman, थोड़े से क्षण रह गए, चले जाओ उनके पास और उनसे ज्ञान ले लो. He did not give ज्ञान to Lakshman because he was standing on his head.
Mhm.
Ram went and he said, इतनी ज्ञान लेके आप जाओगे तो जितना आपका वक्त है उतना ज्ञान मेरे भाई को दे.
Okay.
And then Ravan says those three things. Never trust anyone in life. because उसी में भेदी है. And the three things that he said in life, and he said, how is Kali going to be?
Mhm.
So the elements of truth are, come out of things which are said inadvertently, not with a thought process. And you can only go to God with meditation and purity of your mind. That I come, hey Lord, I'm coming to you, I'm surrendering to you, not for being for my well being, for people and my neighbors around me. Take care of them and give me the opportunity to serve them. So you shall be happy and you shall take care of me. But if I am not good, I cannot take care of them.
Yeah.
That's it. When you're asking for the well being of others, he will take care of you because if he has to, you have to do with his well being, he has to protect you. Their well
Correct.
being, he has to protect it.
यस। आज तक जो हमने शुरू में ही बात की थी सर कि हम सब आपका ही ख्याल वो रखेंगे। थैंक यू। दैट इज वेरी I would say, we all think that we know it, but when it comes from someone like, it just sounds different. It just feels a little different. And, I think it hits you where it has to get. Because, and thank you so much, sir. It has been really nice talking to you, understanding and learning from you. I won't say talking to you, learning from you. And so I want to ask you about the book that is going to come and the movie that is going to come. If you can just tell us a little bit about it and
There-
when we can expect it.
There's a movie, immediate movie, which is going to come as Children of God. And
Okay.
this is about the kinders and how they want to change sex and what is the reason for it. But they're beautiful people and how they're blessed by the Almighty. And
Yeah.
my new show, which is coming up, is Sai Ki Mahima Season 8 is coming up now on Divya channel. And
Okay.
then there is a show on Sony and the Doordarshan, Be the Change, and on Sony there's Mission Made Possible. This is about
Okay.
disabled athletes, and We the Change is talking about spirituality in sports. It's already run for 26 weeks and run for,
Okay.
so
That's,
so
that's great.
a couple of things. Plus there are other things going on. When the time comes, I'll
Yeah.
talk about it.
Sure, sure, for sure, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us your time. It
And the
was an honor and a great
And
privilege
the
to
biggest
have
thing
you.
that is coming out is my new book, Sai Ka Aishwarya, which is
Okay.
similarities of a master and the pupil, which is Shiva and Sai Baba. That book is ready. It should come out soon.
Yeah, and I would urge all of our listeners to, definitely get that book. I will read it. I will get it for myself and I'll read it and I'll share it with my parents and my grandparents. And sir, I ask everyone who's listening to this to go check out the series Be the Change and the book that is going to come for sure. We wish you, sir. I don't think so. I have the credibility to wish you best, but sir, I definitely do wish all the best, sir, for the upcoming book. And thank you so much, sir. I would say, it was a great learning experience for me. A lot of things I thought I am in the right, what do you say, I'm thinking right, but I know that I was not in the right path of thinking them. There would have been some, what do you say, misunderstandings in my mind about certain things, and I think a lot of it has been cleared. I'll accept that. And thank you so much, sir, for giving us your time. It was an honor and a huge privilege to, to host you on the show. And I'll take this interview as I would say, a feather in my cap, or like a badge of honor going forward. And thank you so much, sir. And it was a great pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you very much. And I wish
Yeah.
all the people who are going to watch this show, who's going to watch this podcast, uh, Sai Ram, and I wish them they stay blessed.